All right, let's go ahead and start. Let's get started.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you all for coming. I have to, under roof structure at the park, I also want to add /electric. I was able to get back on that and plan for that. Oh, I'm sorry, we're going with the, sorry, we got the election commission meeting first. I'm used to starting that way. Go ahead.
Okay, so I need to approve my election workers from the board, please. As my election chair, I would like Laura Corella. As my inspectors, I have Danielle Feller, Tamara Anderson, Patty Bloor, Marjorie Payne, and Mary Soul. As my receiving board, I have Karen McPherson and Catherine Rice.
I'll make that motion to approve the slate.
I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay.
Public comment on that?
We'll adjourn that part of our meeting at 7:01.
Okay. All right, so now I need a motion to accept the consent agenda. We can get going.
I'll make a motion to accept this consent agenda.
Okay, and with the electrical and the department.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Chief, go ahead, you're up.
March was a rocking month for us. We ended up in the month of March, we had 3 structure fires, a chimney fire, 2 brush fires, and I don't know how many downfall runs, probably 10. Started out the month of April with a structure fire. And so now we've just been doing what we do. I went into an automatic first tone out agreement with Maple Grove in Dixon Township. And what that does is that is a first tone. If we get a structure fire, they will be toned on the first tone that we are. So all 3 departments will be toned at the same time.
Jack, I'm sorry, who's that agreement with?
Dixon and Maple Grove.
Dixon and Maple, okay.
And so it works the same way with us. If they get a structure fire, we're on the very same tone, we go to them. So now we got 3 departments that are working together. Except now we had the kicker of High Bridge, kind of kicked us in the pants last night. So that implemented quite a bit longer response time. If we're coming to us or we got to go to them. But either way it goes, it's going to be very beneficial for all of us here in the township to have the extra departments coming. We got a very good department, very strong. We can hold our own, but every now and then we need a little bit more manpower. And so, so that's the big thing on that. Does anybody in the audience have any questions on what's going on with the river or anything like that right now?
So, do you have a specified route that you're requesting people use to head north? I'm not familiar
Right
on
now,
that
the
side. I
route
know
is
Warfield is, but
55 to Warfield to Coates Highway.
it is, okay.
And back up around through. It adds a little bit more time. I'm working in Bear Lake right now, and it adds about 14, 15 minutes to my trip. So it's not horrible. And so we don't need to worry about the dam. Just for everybody's proof of sake of mind, the dam is strong. The dam is capable of passing 10,000 cubic feet per second of water. That's a lot of water. 10,000 cubic feet. That's taking a football field and filling it 20 feet high every second. That's a lot of water. Today we got up to 86 something. And so we're forecasting more rain again tonight. another inch, inch and a half. We've done assessments on our bridges and culverts in the township. Everything is good. We're gonna end up with some washed out roads. We got water flowing where water's never flown before. And so, otherwise, you know, Wellston doesn't have to worry. And so if we had houses down alongside, right on the edge of the river, alongside of Blacksmith Bayou and Tippy Dam on down, we would have some concern. But we don't have to worry where we're at here. And so we have very few people that would actually be affected if the dam did breach. That would be affected by it unless they were camping down at Blacksmith Bayou. That would be, and so we have plans for that. Last year I sat through, an 8-hour exercise on Tippy Dam failure, put on by Consumers Power. The Central Dispatch and everybody there, law enforcement. It'll be very chaotic if it ever does happen, but hopefully it won't. And so medical, we've just been busy. I think we're at 109 runs right now for the year already. And so, if anybody else doesn't have any questions, then I'm gonna keep this thing moving.
All right, thanks, Chief.
Yeah, thank you.
Tim, you have anything?
Friday, I believe it was, septic here at the township was emptied.
Yeah.
He said it was full, but looked good. Recommends every 3-4 years instead of whatever we were at. I think we were probably pushing 6 or so, maybe. But otherwise, he said it looked good. Other than that, trying to do spring cleanup throughout the weather and wet leaves and
Did you have that other trailer now? The
whatever.
16-footer? Did you get that one? Okay. All right. Okay, so,
Oh,
management,
I'm sorry.
yes.
You're talking about that one.
Yeah.
Yes, I got
We're
that
good
one.
now. Okay.
So whenever that works for, if you want me to run and get it,
We'll get it.
me run and get whatever, but I have it.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. Yep. Okay, so management council, Reynolds starting to pick up, starting to book up some birthday parties, weddings, and graduation party season is coming, so that will be, booking up, and the craft show is this weekend?
May 2nd?
Next weekend. Okay, got the craft show Friday and Saturday of next weekend. All right. Parks and Rec, you got anything?
No, just gotta retrieve some stuff out of the water there, and, we'll get it back on shore.
Okay. Yeah, got a little bit of rain, stuff floated away.
At least that floats.
Thank Jesus.
Site plan for the tower was approved.
Oh, so the tower's all going ahead?
Yep. Everything's on their end now. We don't have any dates for construction start or anything like that, but it has been approved.
I know they filled out and done their building permit, they're just doing it, but they had some questions to ask them, so we took care of that. Zoning, we had a couple land use permits are starting to pick up, we're starting to get a little bit more of those, and then, like I said, Ben helped with some questions that the cell phone tower had with building questions to fill out their building permits, so they're looking to hopefully go through with that, get that thing started soon, hopefully. Public comment, we have any? Think we sign up? Billy, what you got, sir?
Bill McFadden?
So trying to do this without getting personal here. We are gonna have enough money to pay for the fireworks
Okay.
for this year, okay? A lot of people stepped up, tons of cannon bottles have already been brought to us. Here's my concern. I've talked to 4 different fireworks vendors. A 15 to 20-minute show in 2027 is gonna be somewhere between $12,000 and $15,000. A 18 to 25-minute show is going to be between $10,000 and $18,000. A 30-minute show could cost as much as $30,000.
I've met and talked with Richard, I've talked to the other group part of the members. This fireworks group was not built to do anything but for the community. I wasn't here last meeting, but I heard the great things that the committee and the board said about me. But I want you to understand something. This is going to be so much higher, we can't afford it. 80% of this community deserves fireworks. And unfortunately, I can tell you 20% does not. And if it wasn't for that 80%, I would have canceled it this year. But I want you to understand. As you all know, the Redneck Yacht Club did sell. The Redneck had nothing to do with this fireworks, other than their yearly donations. No matter what anybody says online, no matter how bad people attack me, and the money about what was donated, I raised $65,000 in 4 years for a fireworks show in this community. The last 6 months, I've been beat up, thinking somebody in this community would defend me over the fireworks. But no, they defended somebody else. Sorry, Richard, I didn't mean to get too personal.
Okay.
But we want to continue this. Richard and I have talked about making a larger committee. Jason, I don't mean to put you on the agenda here, but we're going to ask Jason to oversee all of the fireworks proceedings here forward after this year. Because I can't take no more. I can't take a beating on something that I thought was beautiful. And I'm going to close with something. Pete and Mark Fisher were sitting around talking about the first time they did fireworks. Do you guys know why it moved over to Crystal Lake? Because they almost burnt the store down. They shot it in the parking lot of the store.
Sounds like that's great.
But this is and if it's what the costs are going to be in 2077, the tariffs this year are only $700. It's going to go up more. And these fireworks we just got this year are from Belgium. They're not from China.
Thank you, Billy. Thanks for all you've done. Okay, anybody else? No. No. All right. So let's go into, we don't have any unfinished business, we're on new business. Okay, we have to nominate, Merrill's not gonna be able to make it to the public access test tomorrow, so we have to nominate another board member to serve as an alternate. So I nominate Jason.
I nominate Jason.
I'll second it then. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Jason's gonna cover for Merrill. We just had to make it official in the minutes, and we got 7 minutes over. All right. So we got some stuff at the park. We added the electric to it. The roof structures at the park. What do y'all think about those? I figured material would be roughly right around $2,000 to do a 10 by 10 with 6 by 6 posts, 2 by 6 rafters, fascia, 5/8 OSB sheeting on the roof, pole barn type steel metal cap, all the accoutrements to finish that, drip edge, and fascia, aluminum fascia, so that it would be watertight to anything to the elements. And then I had a couple bids from contractors, because I don't have the time to do them, for anywhere from, the lowest bid was at $1,250. So we'd be looking at about $3,250, $3,300 to build one, plus then you have the concrete slab underneath, which would be roughly about $6 a square, so 600, so you could do about $3,800 into each one. Is that something we still want to do there, or would we rather think about a bigger pavilion at the playground park there?
That's what I'd like. Because we're starting your birthday parties by the park.
By the playground?
Yep.
Okay. Any other comment on that? What are you guys want to do in there? Would you rather look at something bigger and nicer at the playground, as Merrill suggested, or what are you thinking?
Well, if we don't have to do everything all at once, obviously, we can implement next couple of years.
Yes, we could add these on.
I think the first thing we should probably do is go to the playground, get them done over there, and then in the future, we can move over. I think.
So you all want a bigger design for that, a bigger type of playground? What do you think, Jay?
I like both ideas. But why couldn't we get plans for a pavilion on the playground side and at least get one of these other ones put up?
possibly do that.
too. And then you can add later another one or whatever. See how it goes with the first one first.
Okay, so I got an idea to just do one at the playground, and I got an idea to do one at the beach, and maybe look into doing one at the playground, so I'm for whatever you all want, it doesn't matter.
In a perfect world, I think we have one in both places. It's
But you want a bigger one at the playground?
Correct.
You want a larger one,
Yes.
okay.
But then it's gonna be come down to how much is the one we're gonna put up the playground gonna cost.
Yeah, I'd have to
So,
figure that material out,
yeah.
I don't know, that one we can make a decision. Do you wanna do one at the beach this year, or right now, or do you wanna wait and see what the playground costs?
I'd like to put one in there, why we have everything going right now already, so. That way you can figure out placement of it, you know what I mean?
Okay,
When are they coming to finish those?
soon,
Yeah.
in the next couple of weeks, that's why I have the electric on here too.
So if we make a decision, we have to make it, so they could do the cement all at one time while they're there.
Yes.
That's why I was figuring we should probably do that now, and it'll probably be cheaper on the concrete side because they already have the thing.
Yep, and that's kind of was our thought to begin with. So I just need a motion from somebody who
I'll
wants
make the motion,
to do a one
one for the,
10 by 10,
at the beach.
okay? All right,
Is that just the beach?
just the beach one, yeah,
And
I'll
then
come
we're
up with
gonna
a
bring
price for the
plans
other.
back for the park.
Okay,
for
so
the
we
next
will only
meeting.
visit the playground.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
I don't have prices on that. so-
right, okay,
Okay.
so I second that.
Yep.
I'm good with that.
Okay, any other comment? All right, all in favor of doing one at the beach? Aye. Against? No? Okay, then the next thing is the electric. So, you know, we have our rail going over there. The rail is there just to start. There will be a grid of fencing on the backside, and there will be a 2x8 top rail. Tim and I had a very long conversation with the electrician, SWB Electric. We had talked about, you don't wanna have any light pollution at the park, something that goes out, so putting it up on a big pole was kind of a, you know, not the greatest. So the electrician came up with a really good idea, I believe, to run low voltage light underneath our rail. So you have the rail on top of the wall, and it'd be a low voltage band on each side, okay? And then that would illuminate, it would be security and safety, it'd be enough, I think he said you could get 3 watts of illumination per foot, or however it worked out. When he came back with the price, so he would run power to the long wall on this side, that's 116 feet, he would run power to the corner of the 45-degree angle wall, and then he'd run power down to the corner of the far 80-foot wall. So we'd have power at 3 places, and we could run low voltage lighting through there, which would allow us also to plug in other things if we needed it. All the power, he would get screw-on plastic boxes that would be able to have an outlet secured in them, and any transformers we would need for low voltage lighting.
Right.
Two. Yeah.
Where's the tree spots for the electrical? I'm sorry.
Okay, so, I'm gonna have to draw this. So, you've got your 45, you've got your long wall along 6th Street,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And then you've got your short wall here. There would be one here on this long wall, so on this side of the ramp, and then you have one on this wall. So we could power and electrify all of those. if we wanted. So that would be power. The electrician said for him to run commercial grade under rope lighting would be very expensive. He has it on his own home, the same lights we have here. We could probably do those for about $1,200 worth of lights, or a version of those. He would run power for $1,700 for those 3 locations. Run GFIs, repair the GFIs that are on that pole, they're all kind of broken up and not working, so do some repair to that pole. He would also, if we ran the conduit, or if he ran the conduit, it would be $3,200, okay? It's not much conduit, I figured about $250 with the conduit, it's just gotta be buried 28 inches below the top of the wall, I can bury the conduit. Okay, so for $250, we don't wanna have an electrician with a shovel in their hand, not a good idea, okay? So we would be looking at, for the electrician, for SWB to do the electric, to run power plus the secure boxes, $250 with the conduit, and then roughly, let's just say $1,500 for some type of rope lighting or whatever, Tim and I could find, that's low voltage. So you'd have about 25, 50, you could, get light on that rail. And then it would be lit up, and then we could change the colors during Christmas and Halloween, and we could change the colors, we could control it just the way we control these lights on this building. And there'd be no light pollution on it, either, because we can dim them down if they're too bright or whatever. What is your feeling? I thought that was a really good idea to get away from the lights on the pole,
Yeah.
because then you don't have the light pollution.
I like
And
that.
it would look really nice.
How much was it, Rich, total?
You'd have about 25, 50 roughly into it.
One of them layers here underneath there.
They would be stapled on underneath, or we might have to do, we even thought, Chad and I were thinking about, you could take some half-inch conduit, rip it on a table saw, and then you could secure that, so the strip in between would be secured and protected underneath.
Cause anything that's hanging loose, somebody's gonna grab.
Well, it would be secured up tight, and it's gonna be on the, you could reach over this way, yes, but I think if we make some type of conduit or snap over protection of the wire. We can get the stuff that snaps into a metal track, it was $12,000 to do the commercial rope layers. So that's where I went, nah, I mean, if you want to do the 12,000, Chad will gladly do it. But it's $2,200 just for the track that we would router into the, and I've even thought about taking the 2x8, see how hard it would be to router like a half-inch groove for the wire to go up into. That would be another option. We have to play around. It's not, it would be design as built. We can make it work once we figure out the light, we design something that makes it good. We'd have to be safe. So we would need $2,500. I could get him to get a go to power, and then as we do the handrail, we can, yeah.
Is that 2550 including what needs to be done here?
No, he's gonna take care of that, and
So
oh,
this is part only.
yeah, and I gave him, the damaged pole at the park is coming out. That is not a circuit breaker box over there. That is got it's a wooden box with 2 outlets jammed in it, and a light that doesn't work. So what he's gonna do is put a 4x6 pole and put an outlet on it, and just dead end everything else.
But everything else there's power there now then still?
Yes, and it's not safe, because it's in a wooden box. And then we have a 220 outlet on the gazebo. He's gonna dead end that, he's gonna get rid of that, because that thing, it's out exposed to the weather, because that's not safe.
So are we going to replace that box
Which box?
out by the road?
No, not at this time, he said he didn't have to, because that's a much bigger project, he would have to come over with a bid for that. He just wants to get everything secure and safe, so there's no live wire. It's not live now, it's blown because of the damage, but he goes, I can put that outlet on that pole that's been crushed, or that's been over, he goes, I can put an outlet.
But I just
secure
wanna
box
know
on it.
there's still power there though.
There is power there.
There's there and in
Yes.
gazebo.
Yes, and there's a lot of extra power running around out there, he's gonna look at it and try to clean it up, and probably, once he looks at it and gets into it, he'll give us a bid to replace the breaker box that is by the road. It's just a residential breaker box, it's not,
Yeah, that was put in.
It's not waterproof, and it's like, what, about that far from the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah, so snow gets in it. So, he's like, I need to look at this and see what's going on here, but he goes, I wanna get rid of the 220 and replace and fix that.
I thought the
He said they
220
used
was
to go back in
dead.
the day, they used to do fish fries. Way back.
Yep.
They don't-
Richard, I thought the 220 was dead.
Well, it's
It was
still
already
there.
shut down.
It's still there, you can flip the breaker on,
Oh, I didn't think the breaker popped last time we tried as soon as you turned it on.
but it's still there, he wants.
Yeah, he
just
wants
get
to
rid of the
eliminate
whole
it,
thing. Yep. So,
Is,
Yeah.
is consumers keeping updating those lights, or are those eventually gonna go away?
So,
There's 3 of them out there?
I have a call in with consumers, and they're supposed to get back a hold of me about updating those to LED around the park and here. So,
so can I get a motion for 2550 so we can go ahead and illuminate the beach wall light?
I'll make that.
I don't know.
I see.
Okay, so all in favor of doing the 2,500 to get the rope lighting on the beach wall? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Then this next one, assistant zoning person, I think I sent you all an email, I hope I did, that Ben wants to cut back his hours. He was only a 1-day-a-week guy here, and then when Bob left, he filled in for Bob, and he would like to cut back in the next month or 2 at the longest. So, my question for you is, do we want an assistant zoning person on Tuesdays to cover his hours, because that was the day that he was filling in for. And do I have permission to put an advertisement out in the paper to start collecting applications for that?
My biggest concern, well, I have a couple. How long is Ben gonna be around? And then, I don't mean around, but Ben's
Before he's
gonna
gonna
wanna,
retire.
Ben's gonna wanna retire at some point.
Yep.
If he's already talking about scaling his hours back, should we be trying to find a new zoning administrator? Cause it's not like we can just, it's not like their time is up, and it takes time.
Well, with Ben, he has not talked about retiring at all. He just, this was hours that put a lot of crimp on him and his other stuff, so I can say that's too hard for him.
I'm just trying to think out a little bit there, you know,
Well, if we hired an assistant, I mean, that kind of gives us somebody that moves up if ever possible, be the head of the zoning administrator if he wants to retire. I don't want to force the guy out.
no, I don't either, I just,
Has he talked about retiring? He just wants to.
No, he's not retired.
yeah, I'm just,
No, that's a good point.
yeah, I would probably wanna retire fully if I was his age too, I mean, you know.
Well, he's still working at Weston.
Yeah.
3 days, he just doesn't want to work 5 days a week anymore. I think he works 2 days in Wexford and he wants to do Friday here. Anybody got any other, I'd like to put one out for an assistant, is that
Right.
all right?
Yeah, I think we should go more than just the paper though, I mean,
Okay.
nobody looks at paper anymore.
Where else can we put it in?
Indeed.
Leads, the recruiter.
I'll make up one, you guys put it in there if you want. Okay, I'll give
Indeed
it
is
to her.
expensive.
Who's expensive?
Indeed.
The paper is expensive.
Yeah, that's
If
true
we can
too.
afford it, unless you're gonna park, I'm sure we can pay for advertising.
Yeah, no shit.
Administrator.
How long do we wanna run it for?
I think we wanna have a decision for the next meeting, right, 2-3 weeks? That work?
I would think, it depends on,
What's it coming
depends on
down?
when we get the ad up. Do we have any, we even have a.
I'll write something up tomorrow.
We gotta go over it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yep.
We should do
Yeah.
that.
Well, tell you what, I need one of you to come up with some ideas where to put it, and we can put it wherever we wanna put it. But I will write something up, I'll find out the requirements from Ben, what it would, what certification. Yeah, we'll put it in the paper to start with, and then we can find another location next time.
I didn't know how long to run it for.
2 weeks.
One
Let's
for
go-
2 weeks and interview for 2? Yeah.
Before the next meeting, that's fine, we can do that. Let's see, what do we got here date wise? Say we get it in, out there by let's run the ad till, we're not gonna be able to make next meeting. Let's run the ad until like the 9th of May, and then we'll interview after that. No, go the 15th of May, I'm sorry, because that gives us next week put it in 1, 2, it gives us 3 full weeks after that, okay?
So run
15th of May.
until,
15th
run
of May.
daily?
Well, yeah, a couple times a week at least. I don't know how that works.
Running it daily is gonna be expensive. Run twice a week?
Do a single column ad,
Once a week?
single column instead of a big,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Do it a couple times a week and then put it on, I don't know what it is, if it's groups, I've never double them, so. Okay.
And run it until May what? 50?
50, yep, that gives us 2.5 to 3 full weeks.
Okay.
Okay. All right, next one, township emails. We've talked about this a little bit. So I had Sam Erdman, who's done some tech work for us here. He found a hosting site for emails, so they'd be Norman Township emails, would be like, I'd have a Norman Township supervisor, Norman Township treasurer, Norman Township trustees, clerk. We could have deputy clerk, fire chief, assistant fire chief, fire administrator, ambulance captain. We figured, I figured 4
Some of them will be grouped together.
grouped together. And then those emails would always belong to the township. There would be no more emails going with people. We would all just have to switch our people over. Like, if you're sending me a Norman Township email, just send it through this. And the good thing about this, talking to Sam, is it gives you a history. So when the next person becomes elected or takes over the position, they would have the history of those emails. All they have to do is come in, change the, password. The passwords would be logged with Sam, I would have access to them, and the next supervisor would have access to them, and then they would just change them. We wouldn't have any issues with missing emails or people emailing the wrong person. That would be $504 a year discounted to $453 if you go with 14. I don't know if we need 14. So that would be, to host that, it would be $553 a year. And then Sam would set it up for us, get it all set up, get everything working for $160. He'd come up and implement it.
160?
160.
I can see us needing at least 10.
Yeah, I just gave him a round number of 14, so we'd have to figure there'd be 5 of us, zoning administrator would get, that Outlook would come over, that's 6, there, that's 10, yeah, so we could figure, do you want one? You,
Timothy.
you know, who else do you need one? Yeah, the community center person, so it's probably 12.
Custodian probably should have one. Just-
Yeah, so we can figure 12, that gives us enough. Okay, and there'll be an adjusted price, I can't, unit price is $36, so it's $36 a unit. I think it's a little less than that because there's a discount for over 10. And this seems really cheap, this company seemed really reasonable in price, because I think having emails and having them maintained is fairly expensive. So, you guys wanna do something like this, we got taken care of?
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Alright, opposed? Okay, now I'm gonna step away, I'm gonna let Star run this. Sharon, I'm gonna- Because this next one is a company I work for, so I'm gonna need to take.
You'll learn.
I can tell them to shut these by home.
Okay. You don't, now you want to run away.
Okay, so our, contract with Great Lakes Assessing is up for renewal. You didn't write me down the date.
August, or I'm sorry, April,
April.
this month.
April 30th,
April
thank you.
30th through May 1st of 2030.
Would be the next contract.
Correct. 4 years.
Oh, now I know who you are.
She would be set when you tell us.
Okay, so here's what we got.
Is Miss Molly? Okay.
That is not.
That is it.
You
Molly, you
gave
wanna
me
explain
the
the contract
electric
to 'em?
and stuff.
Yeah, I know, you want to.
I'll explain if something's gonna change.
We have increased the price to $18 a parcel. When we took the contract, the previous contract was set 2 years before we came. We took no increase, so we would like to go to $18 a parcel, and then on the 3rd year of the contract, there's a 2% inflation multiplier. But throughout the term of the contract, we have not increased the parcel count for any splits, which your township gets split quite a bit, so.
I'm a firm believer if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Do a good job.
I agree. Well, Jason? Aye.
Yeah, I'm good.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, so, to just stay with Great Lakes, give me a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll
Nick,
second it.
Jason, all in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
1830 parcel, by
1830?
At the end, after the
the way.
third year,
Yeah.
it's 1830.
I just found the thing, because I was working on it.
Okay,
I don't have service, and I'm not hooked up to the internet, so.
alright, so just to make sure that we're all good, let's do a roll call. Jason?
Yep.
Nick?
Yep.
Meryl? Yes. Star? Yes. Okay,
Thank you very much. And I would like to reiterate that Richard is not the assessor of Norman Township. David Meister is the assessor. Richard has no final control over values. That's all David.
thank you.
Okay, I need a motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming.
What time?